Gotcha.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I don't know that I'm going to go over the readings today. I think we're just going to spend a little bit of time in the brainstorming space and talk about ideas for project one. So if you would go ahead, I'll log into Canvas and the access code for today is 258. Poltergeist.
I don't know what that is.
Poltergeist? It was like a really famous movie. Maybe that's,
okay, gotcha.
maybe it's generational. Actually, it was a famous movie, then they redid it.
I literally just like,
It wasn't quite as famous.
It was not as good.
It was not as good.
It's like a type of haunting, so poltergeist is specifically because of a house. So it's like a ghost that is only there because the house is haunted.
gotcha.
Yeah, but literally in German, it's called playful ghost, poltergeist. Ghost. Except in the movies, they weren't really that playful. They were very not cool. Okay, people still typing? Are you guys okay? Right? You guys okay? Okay. So, yeah, it's a poltergeist. I know it wasn't a very good joke. What do you want for 1 point?
Is this gonna be the photo every week? That's it.
No, but I really think this is funny. So I am going to, it's going to be kind of a, recurring shtick. It's a poltergeist. So we're going to do a little brainstorming, the start of semester project. And before we do that, I didn't really get to do a deep dive into some of the examples that maybe I get to look at the examples of the project one. So to kick off this whole brainstorming, I'm just going to do a, run through the project one good examples, just to kind of give you like an idea farm and to cultivate ideas for, what's happened in this class. Even for this is just kind of a warm up, I just kind of built something that would be this just gets you going in it. So, it doesn't have to be the greatest and most amazing story ever, but it has to be like, shoot for good. Okay, something that makes sense. So I'm going to share, let's see, I'm sharing screen. Okay, so, nope, don't need that. Oh yeah, don't forget the super party. Wednesday night. I'll be posting links actually if you want to attend the NPPA thing. Can you guys see okay? Let's see. Turn that on. And so. Examples of great work. So again, there's a link in Canvas that will take you to examples of great work. I haven't populated every project yet, but I'm going to get it there. So, I did pull in a bunch of project ones, SOS examples. So let's just kind of go through them real fast. Am I doing this right? For inspiration. This is my favorite part of the job, just looking at photos. That's why I'm a photo editor. Looking at photos, talking about photos. Okay, so as it turned out in time for for this project one, there was like there happened to be a women's march in Indy on that part of the semester. So a couple of people photographed that, some for the Daily News and some just on their own. This is, who shot this? Wonder who shot this? Grace shot this. So she edited it, I thought, fairly tight, and a good selection of details, medium overall, and tight shots. So I thought, reasonably well edited. Again, she was lucky she had a thing going on. You'll see a couple of these. A few of the students went to this. It was a good thing. Rachel Ellis went too that semester. Rachel was all about stuff on the sidelines. So again, is it a home run? I don't know, but I mean, I think it was, at least offered a lot of visual variety. I would have liked to have seen maybe an overall, and maybe, some tight shots and expressions, is there a picture in the picture? Come back. I don't know. You know me, I'm Dr. Crop happy. That's crazy though. There's, I'd like to see more lensing, but again, this is, was fine. I think she did well in this. Then as now, especially on the first project, I'm not going to look for, Pulitzer entries or, why are you not behaving? This was Janie Fooling. I think I showed this a little bit. I went through this really quickly last week, but there's a lot of people very involved. There's a lot of people very involved in. It's just, I'll do the slideshow. In telecom and especially filmmaking. So she was just photographing a project that went all hours of the night. So she got there at about dusk and she just worked it. It'll be interesting under COVID. Kate had a shoot, yes, it was yesterday in LA. And what they did is they brought everybody in, they COVID tested them, had them sit in like a parking lot. They were sitting in cars and they would wait for their call. And then they would just bring them in from their car, shoot the shot, and then send them back to the car. And I think she's back out there today. She said they had really good food. But they had them test a week ago, and they had them test that morning. Now, I don't know if they're going to have them test the second day on the shoot. I don't think they will. And they worked. It was like a super long day, and they said, don't go out tonight. Just, come back in. We're going to start. There was no energy after the end of the day to go out or do anything. So, so I think if you're doing something like this, I think it'd be a lot different. But I thought Janie did a great job. We were, Hannah especially, hey Hannah, you out there? Janie's passion project was on dance. And I'm gonna show you each, I'm gonna go through every project that we're going to do, show you the examples, hopefully to kind of get you thinking about ideas. And her passion project was on a dance instructor who was also a psychology master's student. Just a really beautifully shot project. Don't behave. Another Women's March. I think, I mean, it is redundant. We're seeing the same treatment. It's really interesting for me as a photo editor and as an instructor to see everybody's vision on a similar assignment and all the differences in approaches. Is raining maybe doing this? Okay, let's move it back in. The tough thing, again, we've talked about this, but especially, you know, it's probably less of a thing for the first project because you don't have a lot of time anyway. But, you know, in many cases, if you can photograph something that you can go back, you photograph it once, see what you got, see where the holes are, and then go back. That's going to be especially important for the projects that you do a little bit later in the semester. Really important for your passion project. This is cat yoga. Emily shot this. You know, in critique, I think she could have done a better job of balancing the color temperature in there. These folks are a little green around the gills, but for the most part, you know, it's a cute project one. On the other hand, I do like cats. So with a little bit of toning, which would have been really easy, gray shirt right there. I mean, then it's awesome.
I think it's weird seeing people like that close to the last one. I know, like, all the way down.
Yeah.
Which is like not what we do anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Are you doing anyone doing yoga these days? I should. Bill Foley's been on me to go out and do more yoga. But yeah, they isolate in different. Yeah, isn't it weird watching TV anymore too? You see all these things that are like pre-COVID, and it's like it really there's a feeling of dissonance. I'm like, oh, it just doesn't feel right. All right, so this is Samantha Brammer. Well, that's one where I cropped it. I showed her how I cropped it because that little stick thing was bothering me because, you know, it's not easy being me. So I just did that, and I kind of like how it just kind of tightened everything up. But at least got to watch the edges. But again, for what this was, here's Martin, Dr. Crop Happy again. I mean, I thought it was good. Just, you know, I think again, we're kind of looking for a nice base hit here. So, this is Bree Dougherty's buddy who was a car mechanic. I'm missing kind of an overall for this, so I would have gone back with the wide angle lens and maybe just shot the whole yard and then the dude working wherever he was working. That's the one kind of, you know, critique of this. But, you know. Kyle, yeah, Kyle did this. It's Quidditch. There's a Quidditch team here. I don't know what they're doing in COVID. I guess playing in mass. Does anybody know if there's that team is still active? Looks like Maddie. Yeah. Hmm? It's pretty good lensing. Again, looking for expressions and reactions and emotional content. What happened there? Emma did the donut shot. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about what, I don't know if you got any ideas from this. Again, we're showing you a lot of work that happened pre-COVID. So go ahead and there's a, it's called a quiz, but just it's for in-class participation. It's only 40 points. Go into Canvas and look under, let me show you. That's not what I want. It's down here. Photo project story ideas, just click on this guy and give me two. So you were asked to come back with some story ideas for project one. Put at least two down there, a plan A and a plan B, and we'll talk about them. Okay, this probably shouldn't take too long to fill that out. So let's start a conversation. Who wants to go first? Or I can pick on, I can pick people too.
I can go first.
All right, I want to hear it. Yeah. What do
So
you-
this weekend I came up with like one idea that like I really liked. I was driving out to my dad's, and he lives in Randolph County, and they're like in Randolph County and other parts, they've been putting up these massive windmill farms, and they just recently started putting in the windmills just like outside my dad's property. And there's probably like 30 of them they're putting up across all the fields. And I just like all of the photos we were looking at in this were like people projects. But I think it'd be cool to like photograph and do a story on these windmills being put up, because not a lot of people get to see these or understand like the concept and how big they actually are and the time it takes to put them up. Like all of these workers that are out there like at midnight with lights and trucks just working on these.
Okay. And this is going on now, so you can photograph it in a kind of a short time window?
Yeah,
Okay.
they have some put up and then some that aren't done yet, and they're still working on them.
Okay.
I didn't know if that was like, if that would work or not. It was
I
just
mean-
an idea. Like I was driving and saw it, and I thought of it and like how I could do it.
I mean, it really depends. There's issues. What are possible issues with let's talk about two things. We'll do pro and con thing again. What are the pros to doing something like this? Yes, please. Yes.
So one issue that could possibly happen with this is depending on what day you're covering it, they may be doing like focusing on just one aspect of it for that day. So sometimes it can be hard to get a variety of images if they're doing the same thing for a majority of that workday. So if you are going to take pictures of it, you'll probably want to either make sure that there's going to be multiple jobs being done that day, or that they're going to be making like multiple levels of progress. Because if you're just photographing one thing being done, you can do something with that, but the images may not be as varied as you'd want.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good observation. Others? Yes, go ahead.
Another problem I could see with this, like, I think this is like a cool idea with the fact that you said that like thinking outside the box with like doing like not people, but like an object
Infrastructure.
instead, because like start, finish and everything. But I can see a problem since like this is due in like, I think 2 weeks. Like how much progress, because like, I don't know how long that takes, but I would guess it takes a very long time to put them up. And maybe getting access to like to them. I don't know who you have to talk to, but I don't know if they like let people like get that close, which like might be hard to get like variety of like different angles kind of.
Yeah, they're not like freshly, but they're like almost already put up. They just work on them, and like there's some that don't have, you know, the big, I don't know what you call it, but the blades. It's not like like they're not built yet. They're almost all up. Just some of them have blades. They're still working on roads out there. They're always out there like physically working on them. It's just I don't know. I just saw like different stuff over 2
I'm
weeks.
very
like,
interested in it. Oh,
photographing more than just one day.
yeah. I'm very interested to see how that turns out. Like, I'm very curious, even if it's not for this
I mean, it's an
project.
idea. I might
wanna
not do
see
it.
it.
Yeah, access is the issue, and it's always the issue, especially when it's a work site. If OSHA is involved, again, I would do like really crazy things in San Antonio. Has anybody been to San Antonio before? Nope. Yeah, nobody ever has. They have like they have something called a hemisphere tower, which looks like the Space Needle in Seattle. A lot less famous. At the top of that, it's got a television aerial transmitter tower that goes up another couple hundred feet. And that gets worked on periodically because it needs painting and it rusts, and they always need to kind of fiddle with it and repair it, and re-weld sometimes. So I went up with them. I went up with steeple jacks, and I just kind of climbed up, and I had this the OSHA kind of lobster clips where I just kind of keep clipping off, and you basically can climb it. And the transmitter was still alive. They kind of turned it down a little bit. I probably did a lot of things to myself that I probably shouldn't have because of the electromagnetic radiation, but I kept getting zapped by the transmitter, um, by the transmitters. So it was still electrical charge, and I think a lot of it. But I got some amazing pictures, but the access took me like about 2 weeks to figure it out and to come up with lawyer contracts and disclaimers. And I got all this signed. And then at the last minute, the main gatekeeper just called up and said, I don't care about all these contracts. We're not going to let him up there. They were like, nah, he's already climbing up, So it made for a great picture. But so access is a big deal, especially especially now. And contract foremen just like to say no. So those are the possible headwinds. As I just shared with you, I think this is perfectly doable, and you can do it. There's always a way. But that's just, again, like we were talking about in the last class, you have to really visualize what the goal is and all the crap that you have to deal with as you get to the goal. That's kind of what we're talking about here. Do you have a plan B? And by the way, I think you can do that.
I mean, plan B, I would just try to, I guess, go, because the ideas you saw, there were a lot of like marches, and it was like they looked like they were planned events, and people knew like when they were coming and like when they were coming up.
Okay.
You can always go for the Shoot for Good Muncie, and look at the places that
2.
have opportunity. Oh, it's
That's
Project 2.
Project 2. Oh, you mean you look at the Shoot for Good Muncie website and then come up with ideas?
Yeah, and then come up with an idea based off of what's on there.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Again, that's one of the main reasons that we do the Shoot for Good Muncie website, is to have that. Actually, the main thing was to get people an option to volunteer if they want to volunteer. But also, certainly for these stories, it's really important. So yeah, by all means, scavenge the hell out of that Shoot for Good website for ideas. That's a great idea, Fawn. So yeah, no, that looks good. And I'm not, I think the wind turbine thing can be perfectly good. I mean, I think it's an important story to do. But the access is the issue. Lensing also is the issue. Depends on your access is going to limit you or not limit you, depending on what the gatekeepers say in terms of what you can photograph, right? And where you can go and what you can do. So like if you need help with the drone, and that goes for anybody in the class, I would try to figure out a way that you and I could do a drone thing. So I could maybe let you handle the drone, providing there's clear airspace to do it. It's a whole nother discussion. But if you think a drone image would help your lensing and your projects, let me know and I'll bend over backwards to help you. Because it's why I do this. So, and I think it'd be a hell of a drone shot, actually, if we can fly there.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a certain radius you can't fly within, because these things are huge, and they're just built in these fields, like in farmers' fields. There's not like they're not gated in an area. They're just over, like, I think it's like they're 2 acres like apart from each other, and they're just in open fields. So photographing them itself would be easy, but it's photographing the people working on the windmill that I would have to get permission and do stuff with.
Well, yeah, you need permission to fly all over the property. That's one thing you need permission. So I'm Part 107 certified, so I can tell you what you can do, what you can't. If you're close to an airport, like Ball State is within 5 miles of the Muncie Airport, which inexplicably has a tower. I've been here for 6 years now, and I've only seen one airplane overfly the campus. But for whatever reason, it has a tower, and you can't fly within 5 miles of the airport without getting a waiver, which you can usually get. You can't fly over people, like directly over people. And you have to, if you're on over property, you have to secure permission of whoever you're working with. And certainly, secure permission and check to see if there's any temporary flight restrictions. That's the other thing. So, and it really depends on where this wind turbine farm is. If it's close to, if there's temporary flight restrictions, or if there's anything that would keep you from flying. Certainly large wind turbine blades going around like this would keep you from flying. they tend to be hard on birds. So, but yeah, we'd have to look into that to see if you could even do it. I'm thinking maybe, but I don't know. So who wants to go next? Okay, Maeve.
Okay, so the idea that I got from those images was like I really liked the idea of like the bakery and like the donut shop. So that made me think about like going to like a brunch place. And because like I go to this one brunch place and like the owner knows me, like, but like only because I go a lot. So like I think I could be like, hey. But like during the week when it's not as busy, and then getting them like the prep work before everyone comes in and like kind of just like rush hour. Like I was thinking about like an idea for like a panning kind of image with like the busyness, and then like after like it ends at like 3. So like what happens after that? But probably won't be like a lot of in kitchen because like it probably is going to be very messy, but like customers and like just like things like that. And it's a very relaxed place. And then my plan B is to do the girls gymnastics meet. I think it's on the 31st. So that's just my safe bet. But my inspired you was the brunch.
Okay. Thoughts on that? So again, my worry is COVID, right? So lunch place is enclosed, it's tight. So if you can work around, if there's ways to do that, certainly, if you think you can do it safely, and only if you think you can do it safely. That's the thing. So, I mean, looking at Emma's donut people, I mean, she got to, and it means getting up stupid early in the morning. However, getting there as they're preparing the donuts, I mean, I think that's really interesting. And it's a big deal in my life. I actually, we're close to Long's Donuts. We're not close at all to Long's Donuts. If I'm trying to surprise my spouse with Long's Donuts, I have to like set my alarm at like 4:45 a.m. and then get there and stand in line 6:30 when they open. But these guys start like crazy late at night. So I think, there could be all these kind of interesting making the donut moments, but that's the donuts, that's not your thing. So yeah, I think maybe the setup, if there's a way to, yeah, you could do that. If you need to borrow my Osmo Pocket Pro, you can probably get the tight shots with it. Actually, there are GoPros in, I can't remember if I put that on the list or not. If it isn't, I'll add it to the list. But there's GoPros available in the Teleplex. Rebecca used the GoPros a lot for her surfing picture, and it worked out great. But you can like take a GoPro and then you can use an app and work it as a remote. So that's kind of my go-to. If I'm trying to photograph one of those god-awful pictures of someone working on a computer, I can like take it and put the thing right there, or have it under the keyboard, and you get some good angles. So yeah. So those are, think about the workarounds and the kind of like practical things that you're going to have to contend with in the current paradigm. And if you can't do it safely, yeah, go to a plan B. So that's my counsel. Who's next? Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Yes, Hannah. Hello, Hannah.
Hi. So my kind of creative idea would be like photographing the same place at the same time every single day. I don't know. I was like researching. I saw that and I thought that would be really cool. Just to see like the progression every day. And then my safe bet plan B would probably just be like photographing a day in the life of someone.
Yeah, there's so for your plan A, you would need something that would show a lot of change over a period of time. And in this case, it's a very short period of time because it's your project one. So that's one, that would be the one thing that would have to be contended with, your choice of subject. There's no time for it now, but we at the pilot we did photo columns, and we did a video photo column like right before I left, and I photographed one. I photographed a time lapse, and the time lapse again. That's the whole thing to a time lapse is showing change. And I did a time lapse of the football game from like nobody being in there and then turning on the lights and before the sun comes up and then the sun coming up. I put some music. I'll show it to you a little bit later because it's definitely something that we can consider. Something you would consider for your project 4, actually. Be a great idea for project 4. Just a simple time lapse. And your safe project was, your plan B was, what was that again?
It was like just a day in the life of someone.
Okay. Yeah, anything like that. Somebody who's maybe working by themselves. Again, I'm thinking of Bree's car mechanic guy. So that can work. Who wants to go next? Okay. Brandon.
So my ideas, I have like 3 right now that I'm kind of working with. So the first one was I saw some of the marching band people walking around the other day with their instruments. I don't know what their practice schedule looks like right now, but I think it could be interesting to document one of their practices, kind of similar to that film shoot, just kind of start to finish, different aspects of that. The second one is I looked in the Muncie events, and I think there's a gun and knife show that's going to happen on the 30th at the fairgrounds. That could be interesting to get. I think maybe getting portraits of some of the stands, and just in general, the event itself could have a lot of options. And then my third, which is my backup plan, would be taking photos of the donut shop I work at, Kind Cannons, and kind of doing something similar to that other donut shoot, but with Kind Cannons.
Sure. Okay. Maggie, got any ideas? You got an idea?
I was like trying to stretch it. So.
Is it a poultry, guys?
Oh, I guess my.
A poultry, guys?
Okay.
Tough room.
I'm not gonna do my video. I'm sorry. I don't look good today. So. Okay, number one, I failed you. I did not really have any ideas. However, my dear friend Nate gave me the idea of maybe like doing like like the start and end of like a tattoo artist doing a tattoo, which I thought that was cool, but that would be really hard with COVID because I know they're really strict about that stuff right now. I have no other ideas other than that, and I'm truly sorry, but yeah, so
I've seen the work you do, so you're gonna have something good.
No, I'll
Think about it
I'll
soon.
have something. I just haven't like racked my brain.
I got 3.
Yeah.
I'll pick one.
Let me just steal one real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 3 people are here. I'll figure it out, and I know like I'll like my idea. I just haven't truly found one that I like. So
I mean, I'm not gonna give you an F. You'll come up with something. You should come up with something soon. But yeah, and I like what you did in collaboration and kind of brainstorming with Nate. I mean, that's really, again, that's kind of one of the things I really want people to do in this experience.
Instead of getting a tattoo artist, people with tattoos that walk out. So people document people how they got their tattoo. Have a description talking about what it's about.
that makes me do like
That you can see them.
get them boring.
Yeah.
That's a really cool photo essay. Actually, it's like people's tattoos and like why they got them.
Yeah.
Like maybe
I
not
did that.
this assignment, but that'd be really cool.
You can even interview the people that work at the tattoo shops. They're usually pretty tattooed themselves. So you can just do like essays about, and there's like 10 tattoos from this person. 10 tattoos from this person.
That is a good photo column idea. Yeah. The tattoo, I did it once. I did that story once. Ross Taylor did it a lot better. Actually put together a page of his work. He shot it like an Instagram square picture sort of thing. And he did well, he had a tattoo convention. It was in Hampton, Virginia. And he put together something really, really fun. So I will make that available for you somewhere. I guess we're out of time. I haven't gotten to Kristen or Lauren yet. Maybe we'll talk about your stuff on Wednesday, and then we'll start talking about what we're going to do. We'll get into the readings on Wednesday too. I think we're out of time, so thank you for joining us. I will see you all later.